Well, the US President Barack Obama has called for Russia and the United States to finally end the great game of the Cold War. In a speech marking a shift in relations between the two countries, President Obama said America wanted a strong, prosperous and democratic Russia. Earlier, he had held talks with his Russian counterpart, Dmitry Medvedev, which resulted in a string of proposed agreements, including one that could lead to major cuts in the nuclear weapons arsenals of both countries. Moscow correspondent Scott Bevan reports.
For a man who likes to talk about the future, Barack Obama had the ideal platform today, a university graduation ceremony in Moscow. During his 30-minute speech, the president did refer to the past, to both praise Russia's heritage and reiterate his rejection of keeping alive Cold War thinking about US-Russia relations.
America wants a strong, peaceful and prosperous Russia.
President Obama talked about the two nations working more closely together on international issues as well, including fighting terrorism, fostering greater economic cooperation and stopping the spread of nuclear weapons.
Whether America or Russia, neither of us would benefit from a nuclear arms race in East Asia or the Middle East. That's why we should be united in opposing North Korea's efforts to become a nuclear power and opposing Iran's efforts to acquire a nuclear weapon.
Before speaking to Russia's future leaders, President Obama met with the man still widely considered to be the centre of power in Russia, Prime Minister Vladimir Putin.
I also want to thank the Prime Minister for arranging very nice weather in Moscow.
Last week, the US President criticised Mr. Putin, saying he has to understand that Cold War approaches to US-Russia relations are outdated. Today, that was history, and there were only compliments.
We link all our hopes for the furtherance of relations between our two countries. We are very glad to see you here and welcome you here in Russia. Thank you.
After arriving for his first visit to Russia as US President, Barack Obama spent the bulk of yesterday with Mr. Putin's successor to the Russian presidency, Dmitry Medvedev. After a 4-hour summit in the Kremlin, the two presidents emerged to announce a raft of agreements. The most significant, they now had an outline for a new strategic arms reduction treaty that could see each side reduce the number of nuclear warheads to 1,500 within 7 years.
We have signed a joint understanding for a follow-on treaty to the START agreement that will reduce our nuclear warheads and delivery systems by up to a third from our current treaty limitations.
Both leaders acknowledged that differences remained, such as over Georgia and the US plans for a missile defence shield in Central Europe. But with relations having slipped to levels not seen since the Cold War, the presidents believe that these talks will help bring a halt to the slide.
We resolved to reset US-Russian relations.
Just as the graduating class members of 2009 from the new economic school are excited about their future, the US president is no doubt hoping that both his country and Russia feel the same about the prospects for their relations. Scott Bevan, Lateline.